The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Isn't he something, I'll tell you. I'm looking over my dead dog Rover, who I hit with the power mower. One leg is missing, the other is gone. The third leg is scattered all over the lawn. No need explaining, the one leg remaining is spinning on the carport floor. I'm looking over my dead dog Rover, who I overlooked before. I'm looking over my mince dog Rover, who I hit with the power mower. My dog's not eating, he no longer barks. He hit the propeller and turned into sparks. No need explaining, cause there's no dog remaining. He's part of the grass you see. I'm looking over my dead dog Rover, who I sent to eternity. Hey! Fabulous Rover! Come on in, you guys.
Learn to speak Hawaiian. I want to learn to speak Hawaiian, the old song goes. Now, if we examine the motive of the songwriter, we find that he wanted the knowledge just to be able to actually make love to a hula girl. Actually, you don't have to speak Hawaiian to talk to a hula girl, amorously or otherwise. The sad but true truth is that there are few people today who can speak the language of the islands fluently. These are for the most part scholars, elderly Hawaiians, and those who live in the far remote rural areas. However, part of the fun of living in Hawaii is to be able to take part in a conversation liberally sprinkled with Hawaiian words and phrases. Some Hawaiian words have such common usage that you don't feel a kamai. There we go, unless you have a reasonable vocabulary in such words and phrases. The pronunciation of Hawaiian language is much easier than it looks. Many people are frightened by the long string of vowels that give up in despair. But anyone who can read English phonetically can soon rattle off Hawaiian words if he takes a second look. Hey, the main thing to remember is that all vowels are pronounced, and that there is often a repetition of vowels in a single word. Let's take a plunge and try one of the longest Hawaiian words, shall we? Homa woma kuma 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 wapapwa, the name of a little fish. Looks hard at first, doesn't it? Break it down into syllables and remember the repetition. Huma huma deo deo da da. Huma huma ne deo deo da. That's easy, isn't it? Now let's try this one. Hey. See, I'm singing. You can too. Hey. Naku naku. Simple as it can be, Apu. We're almost to the end of our story. And the final there we have it. Here are the vowels and the way they're pronounced. The rest is a matter of second look. Words, a little patience. As in as in R. E as in long, as in obey. I as in long. E as in machine. O as long O. As in owl. U as in oo, as in spoon. Sometimes two vowels, as AI and AE, are so run together that they sound like gibberish in one syllable. But letter W as pronounced by the Hawaiians is a cross between X, Y, and Z. This is the only letter that at times can be confusing. As it is pronounced, thus we say Waikiki in a regular W pronunciation, but we say Iwa as though it were spelled Ava. We don't want to discourage all the little children from learning Hawaiian phrases. Using Hawaiian words and phrases is easy as it looks and a lot more fun. Try it and see. You'll note that we use certain marks, hyphens, which are called hyphens in Hawaiian. This is a vestige of a great aunt living in Polynesia. Make a grunt sound. That's right, a grunt sound. It's been called the gloidal stop or guttural break. Listen to it in this song. There it is. There it is. Listen for it again. No, not yet. Here we go. Are coming. Sing along with us. Me noi, me noi, me noi, me noi, me so. Sing along. Walkie talkie talkie all day. Me noi, hey. Me noi, hey. Me noi, hey. Me noi, hey. Okay, now you sing. Come on, you can do it. Play the guitar like a real Hawaiian. That's right, slow it down. There you go. Watch out. Careful with that twang bar. That's right. Looks hard at first. Careful. Okay. Bring it on home now. There, now you know Hawaiian. Relax now. And stop.
I want to tell you a story about the Do-Right family. That soul-singing gospel group from the hills of Tennessee. They travel in a silver eagle with 8 rooms and a shower. And every Sunday afternoon you can tune them in on the Do-Right Hour. Oh yes, friends and neighbors, we are the Do-Right family. Broadcasting over the airwaves from Nashville, Tennessee. Reach over and turn up your radios. We'll bring our music to you. And pretty soon you'll shout hallelujah. You got the Do-Right, Do-Right, Do-Right. Yes, if you do Do-Right, you know you can't go wrong. Here's Brother Thurman.
Howdy, neighbor.
Sister Doris and Sister Dewdrop. Oh, bless your hearts, girl.
Bless your heart, Susan.
Bless your heart, Daddy. Bless your heart, Doris. Bless your heart, Dewdrop. Bless your heart. Bless your heart, Daddy. Bless your heart, Daddy. Bless your heart, Daddy. All right, hold it. That's enough heart blessing. Here's Brother Virgil. And I'm Boy Virgil, of course, friends, I'm Daddy Do-Right. No show what we can play, we wouldn't dare be late. She can't be beat, you're in for a treat, she'll sweep you off of your feet. So hang on to your seat, prepare to meet and greet our dear sweet mama.
Hallelujah, friends. Never give in to that sin and temptation lurking in the shadow, but constantly strive towards that burning beacon on a distant
drinking, people's in there smoking, people's in there dancing, where they get out there in a big pile and just right around like a bunch of wild heathens. I tell you, Clark, them discotheques ain't nothing but a regular Sodom and Gomorrah. Where you going, Virgil?
I'm going to one of them disco
You come
sticks.
back here, Virgil. Okay, Mama. Okay, that's enough. Hush, Mama Virgil.
Play the piano, Mama.
Well, the tears were streaming down every face. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. One woman had her eyes rolled back and she was speaking in tongues. Oh, even the do-rights were moved by the sermon. And Daddy reached out and he hugged old Thurman. And they all sang the last chorus like it never been sung. Well, you got to do right, do right, do right, do right, do right, do right. And we invite you to help us sing our songs. Do right, do right, do right, do right. Yes, if you do right, you know you can't go wrong. Go another octave, Virgil.
What was that?
Oh, Lordy, Virgil's done gone slow. He's exploded right here on stage, friends.
Hallelujah!
Play the piano, Mama. Friends, till we meet again, keep being cards and letters coming in. And don't forget the autograph songbooks for sale as you leave the building. Got pictures of entire New Right family standing in front of the lavender loaf. Right there in living color. Lordy, Virgil, you cut that out. You know you can't. You can't hit that note, Virgil. Friends, don't forget, look for the New Right boys will be coming through your town music. Virgil, you can't sing that note.
This Willie, can I help you?
Yeah, my name is I live at Drive,
All right.
and I had made payment arrangements on my bill,
Yeah.
and I just got a shut-off notice today.
They shut you off. Well, you gotta pay your bill. If you
Huh?
if you pay your bill, they won't shut you off. You won't have to freeze your ass off. Why don't you pay your damn bill?
I worked out payment arrangements.
You didn't pay your bill, so you gonna freeze your ass off. Now, whose fault is that? That's your fault, not ours. Just pay your damn bill. Don't be a jive turkey.
Hey, man, I'm not, okay?
Don't get on my bad side. I used to be a drill
Don't
sergeant.
get on my... Dude, you don't need to be talking to me the way you're talking to me.
You didn't pay your bill. You called up.
I am working on paying the bill.
Like my old lady.
I
You
make
being a
payments
jive turkey, don't be
every
talking
Friday.
trash. I don't need to hit no trash from nobody. Come on. I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning. I hate working on getting up early. Just pay your bill. You won't have to freeze your ass off. What part don't you understand?
No, what part don't you understand, okay? I called the main office. I worked out payment arrangements where I pay $100 every Friday.
Yeah, well,
to
they
get
shut
this
you off
caught
because you
up.
didn't pay your damn
They
bill.
agreed with it, okay? They agreed with that, and they said that is fine.
That's right. I understand that. But you
So
didn't
why
pay-
am I getting a shut-off notice
because
for
you
Friday?
didn't- I didn't. You got to pay your bill.
I am working on paying my bill.
Well, you pay your damn bill. Stop yakking and complaining. Then I tell
You ass.
your granny.
I know you don't have time to talk to your plants, so I'm going to talk to them for you. You can go on about your business, whether that's to class or the office, or fixing dinner, or making love. Don't worry. They'll listen to me. Let's begin. Poor little Ivy. Do you speak English, Ivy? What's your problem? Why are you so droopy? Oh, I see why. Your person really poured the water to you. You don't like wet feet, do you? I know you love humidity, but you look like you're standing in a rice paddy. We'll put you in this east window and let the sun dry you out and mist your leaves every day. And I promise you won't get watered again till your pot's dry, at least an inch down in the soil. Okay? Oh, Fern. You're absolute dynamite. You're from Boston, aren't you? You can always tell good breeding. No brown tips, no dry leaves. I'll bet you take a shower every day. Don't be shy. You're fantastic. They really read their lesson on you. You're in a really big pot, and you get drenched about once a month, I'll bet. But you really love that shower on your foliage every day, don't you, baby? You're a neat little spider plant. Spiders hanging all over you. Aren't you proud? Sitting there in the sun in that tiny pot producing babies like mad? I know your secret. You go to bed early. Give you about 8 hours of bright light and no light after that. That's why you're so fertile, isn't it, Bunny? Oh, Mr. Schefflera, you're going to have a bath. You're covered in red spider mites. See that sickly gray foliage you've got and those misty little spider webs all over you? You and I are going to the sink. And you're going to have every leaf, back and front, washed with a nice, mild, soapy bath. Then we'll rinse you off in the bathtub. You're going to have to live by yourself for a while. You don't want to give your buddies red spider now, do you? If you don't shape up in a few days, I'm afraid I'll have to spray you with an insect bomb. And about 4 days later, repeat it. And then we'll get the eggs that have hatched out since we started. What a pretty philodendron you are. You know, some people think because you will tolerate a lot of bad care, you're ordinary. You're not ordinary unless you get a lot of bad care. Pretty good light, little water when you're dry. You don't get bugs. Your leaves are lush and big and green, and you really look tough. Mr. Palm Tree, you are an out-of-sight palm tree, sitting in your bright west window just moist enough. If these people would only learn to lay off the water, unless the plant is dry, they'd turn into Luther Burbanks overnight. Baby tears, you're such a dear little plant. You look so patable in your fat little pot. That east windowsill is perfect for you. Do you know what they call you in England? Mind your own business. Because if they don't, they mess you up. You see, if a person puts their finger down through your foliage to see if you need water, there'll be a hole. So it's best to water you from the bottom, right? All you luscious plants with colored foliage, a little sun really turns you on and keeps your color intense, doesn't it? I'm going right down the line here on all you bright light lovers and just say a brief word to each of you. Purple passion, you do look like velvet. The more light you get, the more passionately purple you look. And you're so polite about letting someone know you need water. Just hang your head, don't you? And what is this? The brain cactus with a name. Albert Einstein. Well, that figures. And you look brainy, too. Want water about once a month, don't you? The thing about you, Albert, they call you brain cactus simply because you look like a brain. You're really a succulent, aren't you? I'll bet a lot of people don't know the difference between cacti and succulents. Cacti always have tufts of hair, felt, or bristles. These are only found on true cacti. Similar-looking plants that don't have them are succulents. Right, Albert? You and the cacti make some of the best houseplants. You'll tolerate terrible treatment. The only thing you won't tolerate is damp, cold. I'm glad to see you have what you need most. A little sunshine, light, and some fresh air. Albert, honey, you've got it made. And you're sitting next to one of my really most favorite succulents, the jade tree. Doesn't jade tree sound glamorous? And you are. Your leaves are so succulent looking, and they've shaped you just like a bonsai. I know you grow awfully slowly, but you're stunning. I knew a jade tree once that was 5 feet tall. He was 50 years old, and he cost $600. See what can happen to you, Jade? Mrs. Easton, you're quite the most magnificent croton I've ever seen. How colorful. I hope you don't mind my asking how old you are. You'd have to be at least 20 to be that spectacular. You've certainly been pampered. Haven't lost leaf one. Peperomia magnolia folia. With all your bright cream and green color and such a name, you should be running for office. And your other peperomia cousins, emerald ripple and watermelon begonia. You peperomias are so varied in shape and texture, it's little wonder people have so many different names for you. None of you like to be muddy wet, though. You at least have that in common. Well, look at this one. You're number one right now, aren't you? You turn the kids on. Iron Cross Begonia. I'd know you anywhere. You're so distinctive, with a German iron cross on every leaf. You prefer a little protection from direct sunlight, so I think we better move you over a bit. There, how's that? And another old friend, Dracaena godseffiana. I hate to say this, but your shape isn't just really that great. But I love your leaves, all dark shiny green covered in cream-colored spots. You look smashing nestled in there with your nephthyitis friend. And what a friend. Hi there, old buddy. Is there any place you don't grow? Arrowhead plant, people call you. I think you're really kind of dingy, because you're so easy to please. You'll grow in a vase of water, won't you? And climb all over the place. Some plant. And you, Ficus elastica, may I call you just plain rubber plant? What an old favorite you are. Bright light, and watered only when you're really dry, you can't be beat. The only time you misbehave is when you're shoved off in the dark. Drop all your gorgeous big leaves then, don't you? Here's the fooler of all foolers. Naive plant lovers think they can smoke you. You're a far cry from cannabis, friend. Disogothica elegantissima. Or do you like Falsarelia better? The thing I like about you is your lacy look and your dark reddish-brown foliage. You're so exquisite played against other plants, and so oriental-looking, too. You make a handsome tree, but you don't mind being pruned back, do you? And look here, the most wanted plant going, Ficus benjamina. I don't know why people call you Weeping Fig. You never seem a bit unhappy to me. You really bring an outdoors feeling inside. You look so outdoors-like. Lose a few leaves now and then, but when you really grow big, you tolerate all kinds of harsh cutting back. And handsome Norfolk Island pine. You do have a romantic name, and you look just like a pine tree. No wonder people in Europe put tiny decorations on you at Christmas. I can tell you've been turned regularly. You're so symmetrical. Another plant with a name tag. Henry K. Little humor there, Mr. Wandering Jew. You certainly do well in your hanging basket, but you need to be pinched back some. You're wandering a bit too sparsely. Spreading yourself a bit thin, I might say. There, let's pinch one here. And that one over there. Now you can fill out a little, and you'll look a lot more substantial. Oh, how sweet you smell, gardenia. You like a cool room when you're flowering, don't you? And not too much water, but lots of misting on your leaves. You're worth all the effort you take. Your blooms are so lovely, and you smell so good. Well, now look at this one. Sansevieria Old Faithful. Mother-in-law's tongue, snake plant. How do you survive all those atrocious names? They say you're ugly and you're nothing of the kind. You're just really tough. A 3-year-old kid can grow you, You'll take the most miserable conditions and thrive. Let's hear it for good old Sansevieria, huh? Cute little piggyback. You have a lot of piggies you're carrying around. You look like an old-fashioned lady sitting in that basket. Very early American type, aren't you? Nothing fabulous about you. You're just quaint and honest and charming. And there's nothing equally as quaint as those pretty African violets. You're like a nosegay when you're in bloom. People don't ever think of putting you in a terrarium. And you love that humid atmosphere. And you look so lush under glass. A good spot for you. Coleus, you're washed out. Just plain washed out. You could still be brightly colored if they'd put you in a south window. I know you were deliberately planted in the garden because it was shady. That's fine outside. But when they brought you inside, they should have given you every bit of sunshine they could to keep your rich colors. And frankly, I really think you should be pinched back severely. You'd be much more opulent when you branched out. Don't you agree? All right, kids. You're all beautiful. Now, just between you and me, we know people can talk to you till they're green in the face. But if they pour water on you when you don't need it, burn you with fertilizer and stick you in a dark corner, you ain't gonna grow for 'em, are you? What you and I know, little plant friends, is this. They can talk their bloody heads off, but they'd better know what you need besides talk. Bye, plants. Keep it green. I love you.
Earl C. Festoon here. Have a special treat in store for you music lovers. I've brought my homely wife, who's a lovely... my lovely wife, who's a homemaker, out to sing this evening's, making her first appearance on the stage. Mrs. Festoon and I have been together for quite a few years. We first married a few years back. She used to get up early in the morning, about 4:30, and I'd make coffee in my pajamas. And then about 2 years later, we bought a coffee pot. What? Oh, yes. Go ahead, dear.
Babies board the silver moon, sailing in the sky, sailing o'er the sea of sleep, while the clouds float by. Sail, baby, out upon the sea. Only don't forget to sail back again to me.
Lovely, dear. Lovely.
Baby's fishing for a dream, fishing near and far. His line a silver moonbeam is, his bait a silver stone. Sail, baby, sail, out upon the sea. Only don't forget to sail back again to me.
Wonderful, dear.
Yeah, this Willie. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm trying to track a package that was supposed to be delivered to my sister.
When was it supposed to get there?
It was supposed to get to her address on the 17th.
On the 17th?
Yeah, but they didn't make their first attempt until the 20th.
Yeah, well, whose fault is that? They're 3 days late. You should have sent it sooner.
I sent it on the 13th.
You should have sent it on the 10th then. Now, whose fault is that?
It's not my fault.
Oh, come on. That's your fault, not ours. You dreaming you think you're going to get there on the 13th. You should have sent it a little sooner.
Excuse me.
You should have.
Can I speak to your supervisor?
You should have sent the damn thing a little sooner.
Give me your supervisor.
Yeah, hold on.
Hello, this is Jim Bob, the supervisor. Can I help you?
I'm trying to find my sister's package.
I'm not the mail room. Let me transfer.
And I talked to somebody in the mailroom who was being awfully rude to me, so I asked for a supervisor. Oh, this is a game. This is a game.
Yeah, this Willie. Can I help you?
Oh, you again.
I told you should have sent your package sooner. You didn't want to listen.
It's not your determination when the hell I send my package. I want to know where it is now. That's what your job is to do right now.
That's what my job is, and that's what I told you. You should have sent the damn thing a little sooner. I ain't some hula hoop-eyed, chicken neck-looking jive turkey.
I don't care who the hell you are. I'm a customer that paid good money to get that package in there. I got a tracking number. Just find the package and tell me where the hell it is.
Listen, this is my last week in customer service. I don't give a damn where that. Maybe it fell
Well,
off
then
the
give me
truck.
somebody that does.
Maybe it's floating down the river.
Well, give me somebody that does give a damn. How's that?
Maybe I find your package, I flush the damn thing down the toilet. You're gonna yak and complain.
Me? I didn't spend that damn money for that not to be given to my sister.
Yeah.
Now I want somebody that gives a damn, or something's gonna really happen.
What, come on, calm your ass down.
Calm my ass down. You're the one that's giving me lip and attitude just because I'm one goddamn know where the hell my package is.
Hey, you should have sent the damn thing.
I don't give a when the hell I said that damn thing. It was supposed to be there Friday. It never showed up. Now give me somebody that gives a damn, or you're going to see somebody that doesn't give a damn.
Now you sounding like my old lady.
I don't give a goddamn rat's ass who the hell I sound like in your family. I want somebody that gives a goddamn. I spent money. I want some information now.
You calm your ass down right now. You sounded like my old lady.
I don't care.
Let me tell you, I come back home from work and I start drinking some malt liquor. My old lady get all angry.
Well, big deal.
She dropped me upside the wall. Then I gotta come. I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, if you wouldn't give me any attitude, just give me the information that I asked for, there wouldn't be any lip.
Hey, come on.
Don't give me, oh, come on.
I told you should have sent the damn
I don't give a damn. It's not your job to tell me when the hell I'm supposed to send it. By all recollection, her ass should have got that damn thing with the way it was sent. I have tracking numbers. I checked on the internet what the hell you guys did. I want to know where the hell it is now.
I told you the thing in transit. What more do you want to know?
What do you mean in transit?
The thing on its way. That's what it's doing.
How the hell do you know? You don't even have the tracking number to say what box it is.
Because I just figured that's probably what it's doing. But you didn't send the thing soon enough, so it's
yeah, right.
I guess you should have said it with Express next time. That's what you did wrong.
No, I want some honest answers, and I want somebody that can give it to me, and that's not going to be you, so I want somebody that will.
Fine, I'll get the supervisor then. Damn, this lady, she drives me crazy.
Hello, this is Jim Bob. Can I help you?
Yeah, Jim Bob. It's me again.
Oh, did I transfer you the wrong?
Yeah, you transferred me. I'm not getting any information.
Let me get you the mail.
Oh, wait. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, this Willie. Can I help you?
Customer services, Joe. Can I help you?
Yeah, I was just called up there, and I'm not too appreciative of little games I'm being played.
How so?
How so? Well, when I talked to a guy named Willie that tell me I need to send my package goddamn early, cussing at me and telling me that I'm stupid.
Oh,
and then
man.
he's trying to send me to this fool named Billy Bob that don't want to answer the phone.
You mean Jim Bob?
Jim Bob, Billy Bob, I don't care what Bob he is.
Well, he's our supervisor, but I apologize. I mean, somebody was rude to you.
They're both being rude to me. All I asked, he told me this was his last week. He don't give a rat's ass where the hell my box is. He said it could probably be floating down the river for all he cares.
Oh well, ma'am,
These are quotes.
You deserve better service than
No.
this. I'll transfer you to the mailroom right away.
Are you gonna send me back to Dan Bills?
Hello, this is Jim Bob, the supervisor. Can I help you?
Yeah, Jim Bob. Don't you transfer me again.
Oh, well, come on, you don't tell me what to do, you dang varmint, you.
Let me tell you something.
I
don't care what you stuttering bastard, but you ain't gonna talk to my wife the way you are.
Who do you think you are, fella?
I'm her goddamn husband, damn it!
No, you think you
What
are.
is your name?
It's Jim Bob.
What is your damn name? I make damn sure, 'cause I work for my dad will fire your mother ass. Now, what is your goddamn name?
Don't you talk that way to me.
You bastard!
You lunkhead!
What is your damn name?
Oh, why don't you go out and milk some goats?
All right, 'cause you know what? I'm recording this damn message, and it will be sent to your damn supervisor and everybody else.
I am the supervisor.
I don't give a damn. Your ass will be fired. Because it is being recorded right now as you speak.
You got no right to do that. I never gave you permission.
This is my goddamn house. This is my goddamn phone. I can record you if I goddamn want to. Because you're not going to talk to my wife or nobody in this family this way.
She ordered CDs. She should have sent them a little sooner.
2 weeks before Christmas?
Yeah. You stop it,
you sound stupid as hell, mother.
Yeah, lunkhead.
I bet you think things are over now. No, au contraire. I'll say that again. No, au contraire. Rare. Back of the throat. Rare. Okay. Now that we've mastered Hawaiian language, or Hawaiian, now we'll tackle Arabic. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, get down in your seat now. Hunch over, put your chin in your lap, and explore the wonderful regions of Port Said. As I said before, excuse me, Maestro, let's stop for a minute. Okay, boys, now there's a word I want you to listen to carefully so you can sing along with the song. Actually, it's 2 words. The words are pork weenie. I'll repeat that. Pork weenie. Now you say it. Say it. That's right. Pork weenie. Now you can sing the song. I'll sing it with you. I'll tell you when to sing. Ready now, Maestro? Come on. Okay, brace up. Here it comes. I see you're dancing. Stay in your seat. Okay, at this point I have to interrupt. The word is not pork weenie, it's corn weenie. You know, like a corn dog. All right, we'll begin again. And remember, corn weenie. Say it. Say it. That's right. Now let's go along. Maestro? Corn weenie. Corn weenie. Really, really. Yeah. Sing it, sing it. That's right. Just like Coney Island. Okay, you're on your own. Sing. Sing. Corn weenie. Really, really. Corn weenie. Corn weenie. Really, really. Corn weenie. Really, really. Corn weenie. Really, really. Okay, here comes the hard part. Ah! Really, really. Now sing. Really, really. Corn weenie. Now why can't you sing like that? What a voice. What sound. What richness. Really, really. It's on the ceiling. Corn weenies. On the ceiling. Really, really. There, I think you've got it now.
Let's say you've just begun to get into plants, or that you want to, but don't know the way to go. I want to give you an idea about the way you're going to accomplish this before you get off to a bad start and total some neat plants. In our shop, there are some questions and answers that come up every day with new plant lovers. The same questions with the same answers. So let's cover them, because if you have the basics, you're on your way. You must take a positive attitude first. None of this, everything I take home dies. Forget it. From now on, you're going to grow plants. The best advice I can give you in houseplant care is love and intelligent neglect. Follow the basics and let the plants alone to do their own thing. Growing plants is much like raising kids. You have to have certain rules, and you have to be in command. You can't simply stand there wringing your hands and being tentative. If you run scared, they'll know it every time. The first rule is to buy a healthy plant. This means doing some checking around with your friends who have plants and who are knowledgeable plant growers. Take their advice on the best place to buy. Drugstores to knitting shops are into the Plant Act, and a lot of plants are being sold by people who can't tell you anything about them, except their price. So for the novice, who may not be able to tell the difference between a mealybug and a succulent, it's smart to buy your plants where qualified plant people can advise you and are happy to spend time explaining the proper way to handle your choice. I suggest you begin on rather a modest scale. Don't go at the beginning and sink your fortune into a really large plant. Get some experience and gain some confidence, practicing on less expensive, more adaptable plants. After you've sprouted some new leaves and had the satisfaction of realizing that it was your care that got this fabulous thing going, you'd float alone to buy a real specimen. Okay, you now have your plant at home, tenderly placed in good light. Please, don't grab the fertilizer. No plant grown in a greenhouse needs fertilizer for at least 3 to 4 months after you've bought it. Fertilize only during the growing season, which in most areas will be from April through October. I find fertilizer soluble in the easy to go. My own feeling about fertilizing is to use about half the quantity the manufacturer suggests, and then only once a month. If you'll water your plants in the morning and re-water late the same day with the fertilizer water, you won't burn the leaves from an overdose. Do not fertilize in winter. Plants go semi-dormant at that period. It's all they can manage to live in the dry, overheated houses and apartments without also being given a shot of fertilizer and being asked to grow. Water your plants less frequently in winter than when they're growing. Lower natural light in winter combined with a soil condition that remains wet too long can create havoc. The less light a plant gets, the less moisture you give it. More plants have gone to their graves by overwatering than any other single reason. You simply cannot brush your finger across the surface of the soil and know, because the surface is dry, that the plant needs watering. Put your finger down in the soil an inch or more. Then if you don't find moist soil particles, it's time to water the plant. Check every day, but only water when this test proves that the plant is dry. Then really drench it, from the top of the pot to the bottom. If after an hour there is still water left in the plant saucer, pour it out. Plants should not sit in water. You'll rot their roots. I want to stress the importance of thoroughly watering the entire ball of earth the plant is growing in. A small amount of water, given every day or two, is doing nothing but teasing the root system. The roots in the lower half of the pot may be screaming for water. You also can't water your plants every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. A plant sitting in a tiny pot with a 3-inch diameter may well require watering every other day, while a large plant in a 14-inch pot may in some cases go 3 weeks between waterings, but the same principle applies. One of the most common misconceptions about repotting plants is that if you give the roots a lot of room to grow, you'll also grow a lush plant. The exact opposite is true. Cramp the roots a bit, and the plant has nowhere to go but up. In repotting, never use a pot more than 1 or 2 inches bigger than the present size the plant is in. Repot in something too big, and the plant can sit for months, growing roots like crazy, and putting out exactly 0 above the top of the pot. While we're on the subject of potting, let me urge you to use nothing but pots with a drainage hole in the bottom. Cover the hole with broken pieces of crockery to hold the soil in and allow the excess water to drain out. If you like a more unusual container than the simple clay or plastic that the plant is growing in, double pot it by setting the planted pot down in a larger pot that you may find more attractive. You can even put moist sphagnum moss in between the 2 pots for added humidity. Many people enjoy mixing their own potting soil. However, for beginners, there is only one fact to remember above everything. It's imperative to use a good, sterilized potting soil. Soil which is not sterilized can really cause disease problems. Also, if you're using anything but a new pot, scrub it well, inside and out, and wash it thoroughly in a good soapy water, and finish by giving it a dip in a household bleach solution. About a tablespoon of bleach to a gallon of water. This again gets rid of many possible diseases. Clean plants have a resistance to bugs and other problems. Give your plants a weekly shower or spray them and wash the leaves. They look so much healthier, prettier, and cared for, and they always enjoy the added humidity. The importance of misting the foliage daily with lukewarm water can't be overstressed. Most houseplants love high humidity. Misting is an excellent way to achieve it. Hold a piece of newspaper behind the plant and put a sheet of light plastic on the floor to save the furniture and carpeting while you mist. A tray of pebbles and water for your plants to sit on also lend humidity. Just make sure the plant is up out of the water. Perhaps the most important factor in growing plants well is good light, real or artificial. All your efforts will be futile without adequate light. 10 to 12 hours of good light is what a plant needs every day. If your windows do not provide it, use artificial light. Fluorescent tubes are the least expensive to operate. You can use a variety, but I feel in most cases cool white will get the job done. You don't have to worry about fluorescence burning your plants, so even as close as 4 inches from the light won't hurt them. Small plants can be grouped under a light that's bright enough to read by, or under a desk lamp. Just keep in mind that you have to leave the light on them all day. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on the care of some of the more popular plants. Some of these are touchy if you aren't very careful to remember the kind of care they really require. Others of them are easygoing types who will live in spite of you. Let's start with the fern, which seems to head the list of problem plants for beginners. Being native to woodsy areas, they love high humidity. Where people go wrong is in keeping the soil on a fern constantly wet. Ferns don't want wet feet. You can find ferns growing in a rock crevice with almost no soil around their roots. The high humidity keeps it thriving. Use the same principle with your fern. You'll be amazed. Allow the soil to dry well between waterings, then soak it. The secret is daily misting of the foliage. 2 or 3 times a day is not too often. This advice does not agree with many houseplant care books, but I can guarantee it works. Ferns need good, diffused light. English and grape ivy, as well as most of the ivy family, like much the same care as ferns. Too frequent watering of the soil will rot the roots, but misting is really appreciated. Good bright light helps too. The spider, or airplane plant, is a green and white striped, long-leafed plant that will grow long runners with tiny plantlets at the end of the runners. It's a beautiful hanging plant, and it looks good over a shelf too. These plants thrive in bright light and should be allowed to dry out well between drenchings. All spiders, even in the ideal conditions of a greenhouse, get brown tips. They dislike the fluoride in the water. Simply snip off the tips at an angle and forget it. They're usually so full of leaves they won't mind, nor will you. Too much fluoride in the water also causes dracaenas to brown at the ends of the leaves. Get your scissors out and snip the brown off. Dracaenas are all striking plants. There are dozens of varieties, the most common of which, perhaps, is the corn plant with full, long, green and yellow leaves looking very much like corn, and the one with the huge tufts of slender, long, flat leaves growing at the top of bare, woody trunks. This is commonly called the dragon tree. You really want to guard against overwatering this plant. In fact, overwatering any dracaenas. They like to be completely dry between drenchings. They want bright light, not direct sun, just good, bright light. Palms are really showpieces. When you realize the beauty a palm can bring to any interior, you'll be patient with their slow growth. They have few needs. They're in a deep pot with rich soil and good drainage. They love to have their leaves sponged off or to take a shower with you. They're quite tolerant of warmer temperatures and very resistant to bugs and disease. Aphelandra is a temperamental beauty with dark green and white veined leaves and a spiky blossom of brilliant yellow with narrow red edges. Because of the distinctive striping of the foliage, it's known as the zebra plant. They'll only make you unhappy if you fail to realize that the leaves are so thin that unless the plant is kept constantly moist, the cells in the leaves die and the lower leaves will fall off in a matter of hours. It's a prima donna, and when it says, "I want to be watered," it's now. So check the moisture content of the pot daily. It likes filtered light and high humidity. If you've goofed and the leaves have dropped to such a degree that you have a naked stem with only a few leaves at the top, cut off the top at a pleasing length, root it easily in water, and start a new zebra. Another variegated leafed prima donna is the wide-spreading Photonia, just as demanding of humidity and constant light moisture. It can't stand direct sun and is often put in a terrarium where it's known as the barometer plant, because when it wilts, it's really time to check all the terrarium plants for water. Let's talk about terrariums for a moment. Where you hardly have room for an entire grouping of plants, you can enjoy a little enclosed garden, even though it might be no larger than a fishbowl. Tiny ferns, baby tears, miniature palms, Photonia, any small versions of plants which like high humidity are perfect choices for the terrarium. Give your terrarium good light, but absolutely no sun. If it has a cover, it won't need watering very frequently at all. When you water your terrarium, use a delicate touch, perhaps a tablespoon of water around the base of each plant and a general misting of the whole surface. If it's a small-necked bottle, a kitchen baster is good for watering it. Just remember that there's nowhere for excess water to escape. If after watering, the inside of the terrarium beads up with moisture, remove the lid for a few hours or until it stops. Just a slight mist on the glass is fine, but too much moisture will cause rotting of the plants. St. Paulia, or African violets, are one of the most popular houseplants. There are literally hundreds of varieties. They're temperamental and frustrate many would-be violet fanciers. If you really want profuse bloom, know that African violets want 18 hours of daylight. Get yourself a time clock so that you won't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to start your violet's day. If a violet plant is placed beneath a 60-watt incandescent bulb for 18 hours a day, not only will it grow to large proportions, it will bloom like mad. Incidentally, keep the light at least 24 inches from the blooms. Violets like 68 to 75 degrees in temperature. They should be moist at all times. Feed them with a special African violet food once a month. The violet, because it blooms year-round, can be fertilized through the winter months as well. Just don't over-fertilize. Follow directions, and if anything, use slightly less. Water the plant from the bottom, because water spots and rots the leaves of a violet. Dieffenbachia is a stunning plant with its large green and yellow marbled leaves. It grows quite tall and makes a choice contrast with other plants. It's called the dumb cane because of a juice in the leaves and stems that isn't really harmful but can cause temporary muteness if put on the tongue. Good idea to keep it away from your plant eaters. It's also called a four-leaf plant because, given incorrect care, it usually ends up with only 4 leaves. Dieffenbachia only like a couple of hours of sun a day, and will even be happy with a north exposure. Be quite sure the plant is dry before rewatering thoroughly. Piggyback still grows wild in some areas extending from Alaska to California. Piggyback is quickly becoming one of the most popular of houseplants. It was given its name because of the way the new leaves grow from the bases of older leaves. It's a good hanging plant and collapses dramatically when it gets dry, but revives beautifully in about 20 minutes after watering. Heart-shaped, hairy leaves, light green in color, produce plantlets at the junction of the leaf stalk and its stem. By removing the entire leaf and inserting it in a pot of moist sand, roots will sprout and the new piggyback is ready for a 2-inch pot. The full-grown plant is full and low-growing. Give the plant good, bright, indirect light, and keep the temperature cool and the circulation of air good. The piggyback is a charming plant and looks particularly good in an early American room. This one likes to be moist at all times, so don't allow to thoroughly dry before rewatering. An old and common plant with lots of assets and few liabilities is the wandering Jew. Its vibrant color becomes even richer the more sun it gets. It makes a terrific hanging plant. The runners multiply like weeds, so you need to pinch it back regularly so that it doesn't become leggy. You can root the cuttings in a glass of water and put them back in the mother plant to make it fuller. Wandering Jew likes good light. When the soil is slightly dry is when they need a drink. They grow like crabgrass, so go easy on the fertilizer. One neat sun lover everyone should have is the aloe. It's often called the burn plant because if you break off one of the leaves, the juice from it will ease the pain if you've burned yourself. The aloe is a succulent that loves a hot, dry, sunny area. It holds a tremendous amount of water in the stems, so requires watering only very infrequently. Plants are as individual as people. Certainly you can say if their living conditions are poor, people and plants will suffer. But when you get down to particulars, you will find that certain deficiencies result in certain illnesses. A plant must have all of the major growing factors present to be a fine, thriving fellow. Adequate light and humidity, the right temperature, correct soil mixture, and the proper feeding. Leave one of these out, or give too much or too little, and you have a sick plant. Plants do tell you they're on the sick list. They get yellow leaves from too much or not enough water. Their leaves fall off. They turn brown, they get brittle, and they droop. Something you're doing too much of or not enough of, aside from the bug problem, is usually the root of your plant problem. This is why I preach, learn the basics. I'm very much in favor of using a good insect bomb or its organic equivalent as a preventive measure once a month, particularly during the winter. Bugs seem to adore hot, dry rooms. It's also a good idea to give any new plant a shot of bug balm before you allow him to join the rest of the family. A mild soapsuds bath using Lux, Ivory, or Fell's Naphtha, followed by a good rinsing, will often solve the red spider and aphid problem as well as others. A cotton swab dipped in alcohol and applied to mealybug will take care of a mild problem. If the plant is really infested heavily with mealybug, it's best to toss it. Always isolate a sick plant. In quarantine, he won't spread disease. All of your plants will love a summer vacation outside. Just make sure they're placed in a shady area. Otherwise, you'll have some very sick plants from sunburn. They love the fresh air and will thrive in their own natural environment. They'll also dry out faster, so make sure you check them daily. Just be sure before you bring them back inside in late summer, you thoroughly wash them off and use an insect bomb. Plants that you thought were on their way out will flourish outside. So if you have the space and the shade, let them enjoy the summer air. I hope with these instructions you'll run out and buy yourself a plant to love. We're an earthy people, and we love to get our hands in the soil. The more concrete jungles we build, the more need we have for a room, a high-rise apartment, or a split level in a housing development. So, wade in. Get your thumbs green, all the way up to your elbows.
That famous day in history, the man of the 7th Cavalry went riding on. And from the rear a voice was heard, a brave young man with a trembling word rang loud and clear.
What am I doing here? Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Mr. Custer, please don't make me go. I had a dream last night about the coming fight. Somebody yelled attack, and there I stood with an arrow in my back. Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Look at them bushes out there. They're moving. There's an Indian behind every one of them. Mr. Custer, may I be excused for the rest of the afternoon, please? Want to change my library book. Oi, Wyatt! Duck your head! Oh, bit late on that one, son. God, I bet that don't half hurt.
They were sure of victory, the man of the 7th Cavalry, as they rode on. When from the rear a voice was heard, that same brave voice with a trembling word rang loud and clear.
What am I doing here? Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Listen, Mr. Custer, please don't make me go. There's a redskin waiting out there, waiting to cut my hair. A coward I've been called, but I don't want to wind up dead or bald. Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Now let's see, what's the Indian word for friend? Oh yes, I know. Manana, yes, that's it. Oh, you lot out there. Manana. Ooh, no, that ain't it. Look at them out there, running around like a bunch of wild Indians. Bunch of wild Indians. No, this is no time for joking. Oh! 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 Help! Mr. Costa! Oh my God.